Hey, True Believers, Englentine here. I'm pretty sure everybody at this point has heard about how Mary Poppins is racist now. And I mean that, now. Nobody saw it. Nobody cared about it. And by nobody, I'm talking about very few people. I'm sure somebody watched it and went, "Oh my gosh," and everybody told them, "You know what? You're being stupid. Hush." But now there's a platform. Now there's an outrage culture. Now there are people to listen. Now there are people who will look at anything and go, "You're right. Oh my gosh, that's so bad." And they won't look at intent. They'll just hear the words that somebody else tells them. They'll believe it wholeheartedly and they'll run with it. And in this case, it happens to be about one of the, if not the best film of all time. I love this movie. Always have. Even as a kid, this was, in my opinion, Disney's best, and it's in my top 5 films of all time. I think it's pure joy. I truly do. It's very entertaining. Before we continue, though, I have to say, if you are here for the drama, this is not indicative of what's on my channel, and I really want to make this clear because I do a comic book channel, I Love Comics, which for a long time I was talking about the drama of the decline of the comic book industry and what caused it. And I got more people interested in the drama than the actual comic books themselves. Not that I don't have people interested in the comic books. It's just that's the way it happens. I do not want that for this channel, and therefore this is not going to be the usual kind of topic. I just feel very passionately about the movie Mary Poppins, and I felt I wanted to throw my hat into the ring and talk about it, and talk about the article, talk about my feelings towards the article, and talk about my feelings towards the movie itself. I love it, which can be summed up into, of course, like I said, top 5 films of all time. Music is excellent. The movie itself was a great lesson. As a child, you think it's about the children. As an adult, you understand that it's about Mr. Banks. After saving Mr. Banks, everybody knows about it. I remember before that movie, not a lot of people knew it was he who was being saved by Mary Poppins, because he's the only one that had the story arc. He's the only one that changed from the beginning to the end. The kids really didn't. They're still kids. Oh, maybe they're a little bit more behaved, but the true story arc comes from Mr. Banks. And if you notice that, you realize that. Anyway, I am certainly digressing. The Step in Time scene is one of my favorite dance sequences of all time. And there are better, but not many. So this is from the New York Times. And as you can see, Mary Poppins and a nanny's shameful flirting with blackface. This is why we can't have nice things, ladies and gentlemen. As soon as you like it, somebody's going to come along and actually you into them. I guess they want you to feel bad about liking it or something along those lines. It's ridiculous. It truly is. And I didn't know if I wanted to actually read through the article or just talk about the article. In this case, I'm not going to read all of this, because the first paragraph is just talking about there's Mary Poppins Returns. It's facing nostalgia, or it's being popular because of nostalgia, and part of that nostalgia is based in racism. And then it goes on to say that there's been racism in the Mary Poppins lore from book to all the way to and through the movie. And then it talks about the chimney scene where the kids and then Bert and Mary Poppins all fly through the chimney and they come out on the other end. One of the things that, in the next paragraph, I think, how it mentions the reason why it's racist is because when Mary Poppins comes out of the other side, when she comes out through the top of the chimney, instead of wiping the soot off, she smears more soot on. And this, of course, is her putting on blackface. I even seen one little paragraph about this, and it's going to be at the end of this video, about how somebody thinks it's classism. I kid you not. I kid you freaking not. So, see, I saw that scene, and I always thought, well, that was a joke. It's a joke. Instead of wiping it off, She's putting it on. It's subverting your expectations. That's what jokes do. It was a joke. No, according to the author of this article, it is racism. And part of it is because in the books, and he does that. He goes, well, the movie's racist because look at this part in the book. In the book here, she says, don't touch me, you, and I'm not going to say that. I'm just not going to because you never know with YouTube anymore. And, well, he is dark. And I mean, when you're covered in soot, you are black. You're not black racially, you're black in color. Black is a color, not just a race, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pretty sure you watching this do not need that to be explained, but apparently if you are an identitarian, that's all you see. It's amazing to me because he brings up the fact that that white supremacists use this scene as a way of showing that like Disney was a white supremacist or something like that. And I'm thinking the only people who see race here is the identitarians on the far left and the white supremacists on the far right. Those of us in the center are just watching a beautiful and wonderful film. That's it. Apparently there is something about the word Hottentot. I actually looked it up, and that's true. It has racial connotations, Khoikhoi people in South Africa. I didn't know that when I was a kid. Didn't know that when I was an adult until right now. I'm not English, so it's not, Hottentot to us was somebody who was very, very rambunctious. Not somebody who, had no racial connotations. I never knew that there were racial connotations until this article. You learn something new every day. Thanks for teaching us, sir. Oh, my gosh. Okay. I was ignorant about it, but dang. Aren't you ignorant yourself just for pointing it out? I don't know. Also, I don't think the intent was there. It really isn't. One of my favorite George Carlin pieces, he's talking about bad words. And he says, there are no bad words. There's bad intentions. You can use words with bad intentions. It doesn't matter what the word is. And it's true. You can call anybody anything. If you say it angrily enough, they'll understand it's an insult. They won't understand how, but they'll understand it's an insult. And I just don't think that the intent was in Mary Poppins to be a racist film, but as you can see, and I'm talking over the article, so if you want to check it out, go on ahead. But yeah, I don't think the racism and the intent for racism was there. Could just be me. I don't think it is, considering how popular this movie is with families. So anyway, I wanted to show one last thing, and I'm going to talk about it because this shows the mindset of the person who wrote this article and what he thinks of people who don't agree with him. It amazes me, though. Like say, okay, we can have a discussion about this. You could agree with me. You could. I'm not some philosopher or anything like that. I did read philosophy when I went to college. I studied it for like a semester and then figured I would go form my own thoughts rather than read the thoughts of others. I kid you not. That was my reason for dropping philosophy. I said, if I read this, I'm going to set my worldview to somebody else before I even have a chance to create my own worldview. So yeah, I'm no professional philosopher or anything like that. Kind of the dumbest reason to drop a class, but that's what I did. So I could be wrong about all of this. I think I'm right for my own self. In my own heart, I am right. But you gotta read this guy's responses. First, there is a response from a writer, Michael Schulman from The New Yorker, saying, this made me think about class too. How Mary Poppins, a posh domestic, scrambles the class divide and introduces Jane and Michael to the much more fun world of pleb chimney sweeps, further scrambled in the sequel when the Bankses are also in the poorhouse. Never saw it. I mean, obviously there's a class divide, but if you ever saw how Bert acted and reacted to the Banks kids, you never felt it. You never really see it. You just felt, okay, they were working and the kids were kids. Mr. Banks worked at a bank. Bert was a chimney sweep. Granted, when you're an adult, you can understand that Bert has a hard time and he's doing whatever he can to put a dollar in the hat, so to speak. Okay, so it goes on to say, author Mr. Pollock Pelsner posted online after his article was published, "The chief reason I wrote this article was in hopes that a Disney executive would read it and take another look at the forthcoming Dumbo remake and ask if there was anything just a little bit racist they might want to rethink before it hits the big screen. I'm calling foul, because you could have written about the crows and just made it about the crows. To me, this is backpedaling. Well, I didn't mean that Mary Poppins was racist. I meant Dumbo was racist, so I wrote about Mary Poppins. You could have easily written an article about the crows in Dumbo, because that's what he's talking about. He's talking about the crows. Ignore the fact that the crows were the intelligent creatures that explained everything to Dumbo. The crows were the ones that pointed it out. The crows were the smartest characters in the freaking movie, but they're bad. Take that how you will. That also happens in Song of the South, by the way. Everybody hates Song of the South because it's so racist, but the most intelligent character in that movie, the only people who have it together, as a matter of fact, are Uncle Remus and his family. The white characters in that are falling apart. Anywho, so I'm calling foul on this. I think Mr. Pollock Pelsner is full of crap in his description of this. But here's what I really love about Mr. Pollock Pelsner and his descriptions here. He says, "Here's one thing I've learned about the alt-right after I wrote this article and received a zillion hate messages in response. They sure like Mary Poppins." Yeah, if you don't agree with him that Mary Poppins is racist, you're an alt-righter. Does that carry weight anymore? You're alt-right. Everybody's alt-right who disagrees with somebody like this. That's amazing to me. I don't know. Anyway, gang, to me it's ridiculous. It's an actual ridiculous premise, and I understand that this could end up being divisive, and I'm trying to grow a channel here. I don't know what to say. I'm not going to apologize for not thinking that Mary Poppins is racist. That is my hard line. That's what I'm taking, and I understand. I may have said some stupid things, and by all means, let me know what was stupid in the comment section below. That's fine, but I'm not going to start saying that Mary Poppins is racist. I'm not going to stop watching it. Shoot, I showed Song of the South to my kids. They're not racist. Guess what? Kids don't see it that way. They just watch a movie. You have to be taught racism. And you can actually look at an age where they're going to be watching Song of the South. You don't have to give them the straight up message, but as they grow up, they will find out that's just not the way it was. That's what happened with me. I saw Song in the South on the big screen, didn't think, oh, wow, they're inferior. No, freaking Uncle Remus is the only one that has it all together. Anywho, I guess this is where I said, like I said, put down your thoughts in the comment section below. If you haven't done it already, please hit subscribe and the notification, so supposedly YouTube will send you a notification when I've got a video out. Obviously, this was a rant. It was done in one take, and I don't know what I said at this point, what was stupid, so by all means, be gentle. And yeah, if you don't mind helping out the channel, go on over to Patreon or to Ko-Fi. Links are in the description below. Drop $1 in the till and help us keep making videos for you. Thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.